Hello, and my name is Pete Rushmer, and I'm your host today of A Half Dozen Things podcast. A Half Dozen Things is a podcast for business owners just like you. Whether you're an underdog hungry for success, or you're already smashing it but want to continue to level up, we are here each week for you to get insight and learning from the very best in the business. No fluff, no BS, and no self-proclaimed gurus talking about how easy business or life is.
Hello, welcome to this LinkedIn Live. It's first lunchtime live I've done in a little while, so I hope that listeners will enjoy it and get some value from it. I've been doing quite a bit of work recently. I'm just noticing how shiny my head is under these LED lights. It's probably not ideal, but never mind. I'm not vain. So let's get cracking with the content. I wanted to do a really short, sharp burst on how to master your business culture with 6 easy steps. Now, it's something that I've been doing a lot of training on recently with my team and with other companies as well. And that's why I've been quite busy recently. I've not actually been able to do much posting or as much posting online as what I would do as usual. And I've even taken a bit of a break from Half Dozen Things podcast as well, as we look to launch the 4th series on the Half Dozen Things podcast. What you'll see coming up on that Half Dozen Things in the podcast is that we're going to be focusing much more on culture and business improvement. And this lunchtime live fits in really well and complements that. And it does link in really nicely with some of the work I've been doing with some of our clients recently. I've been working with an engineering firm of about 50 people, and they're an absolutely fantastic business, family business, still family owned. They've grown to 50 people over the last 40, 50 years, and they're looking to work on their business culture. And we've been working with them, and it's been a really inspiring journey for me, certainly helping their team to discover what the culture is and to work on their vision and their values and to help roll that out through their business. So this is a really quick session around the principles of how to master your business culture in 6 easy ways. Now, a business culture is something that exists regardless of whether you've harnessed it or not. So you will have a culture, the way things are done around here, which is created by your people. And it's something which, if you don't manage as a leader in the business, it's really strange. The camera's quite high. You can't see. I'm moving my hands around. You can't actually see them. But it's something that if you don't do anything about, it still exists. Okay. But the issue is that it still exists, and you haven't actually had any sort of say in how that business culture is developed. So the reason for this session is to think about how do we make sure that we are positively influencing our people and positively influencing the culture in our business, because it affects the overall performance of the business, the profitability. It also affects the safety and the compliance of your business as well. So there's lots of things for you to consider. But ultimately, the process is quite simple, which is the purpose for this session today. So the first step of these 6 easy ways to master your business culture, the first one is to commit to a vision and values that's going to be inspiring for your people. Now, people who believe they turn up to clean a toilet might be less engaged and motivated than believing that the role they play is making sure that people can use clean facilities and the impact that will have on them. So it's very important that we frame the vision and the values and frame the work that our people are doing in a way that is positive and in a way that makes them feel rewarded for the work they're carrying out. So when we think about the overall vision, it needs to be some point in the future that the business can work towards. And essentially those vision and values become the train tracks on which your business train will operate. And obviously we don't want the train to derail. We want it to stick to the tracks, and to enable us to do that, to enable things to be positively influenced and for the train to continue on the track, we need to set a clear vision and values for the business that's going to be inspiring. So the first step is to commit to that. And then the second is to actually not just go ahead and create a vision and values. It's to actually involve your people, survey them, speak to your people, let them have their say. There's lots of fantastic software out there. I know I've got a friend, Gobby, who does fantastic surveys, or you can do, there's all sorts of things you can do to survey your people, have consultation meetings with them, get them in for chats, speak to people, and involve them in what they want to see, what they want the future of the business to look like from a cultural point of view, and let them have their say around what's important to them, why do they come to work, and what's important to them in the interactions with people in the business. Talk about where things have gone wrong, where there's been conflicts or challenges that have come up in the business, and what the root cause of those and how you would prevent those from happening in the future. So that's really, really important, letting people have their say, because otherwise you're just giving them the vision and the values, and they then have to deal with them, and they're going to be less meaningful for them. So where I've seen this executed really well, I have seen companies that have gone to their people first and spoken to them and asked them what's important to them and what's the future look like for them too. The third thing to do, is to agree collaboratively. So as a group of people, agree as the leader with the team and get an agreement and some level of agreement on what the vision and values is going to be and what the future is going to look like for the business. How we're going to implement the vision and values and how that's going to be lived and breathed through the business. There's lots of ways to do that, through recognition, through nominating people for doing a good job, for having ongoing meetings, having people throughout the business that help nurture the vision and values and help people live them through the work that they're doing, and start to think about how we can bring that to life. So agreeing collaboratively is also about looking at bringing these vision and values to life within the business. So what does it look like in real time? Because ultimately we can just stick the vision and values up on a wall somewhere. We can put them in our documentation, but if they're not lived and breathed through the business and agreed on a collaborative basis, potentially a charter, having a rollout or something like that is a really good way to make sure that the starting point of embedding that journey is put into place.
Hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're proud to sponsor a Half Dozen Things podcast. Flagship Partners help their clients become safer, greener and greater through a range of consultancy and training services. We offer audits through to risk assessments, contracts through to support with managing your culture, all the way from mandatory training through to management training as well. So if you need any support, please do get in touch with Flagship Partners today.
The fourth area is around educating on the expected behaviours. So it's all well and good setting a vision and a values within the business, but what we need to do is we need to educate people on what the expected behaviours are. So what that looks like in your business and what behaviours on a day-to-day basis we're looking to see, and what potentially will be the recognition for doing the right behaviours and what potentially will be the consequence for doing the incorrect behaviours, because ultimately it's about recognition for the good stuff and potential consequences for the bad stuff, and that's how we keep the train on the tracks, and we keep it pushing along as we head towards those vision and values and keep things on track. Because that's essentially what a vision and values does. It creates a lovely environment that's engaging for our workforce. That means they want to stay. It means that they enjoy coming to work, and it means they're going to do the most productive work for your business. So it's really important that we make sure we actually have a proper process in place to ensure that people understand what the expectations are, but also that we make it clear that there's going to be potential consequences and potential recognition depending on what goes well, because we need to encourage and positively reinforce the good behaviour, and that's sometimes where people get it wrong. There's often consequences for poor behaviour, and sometimes there isn't even consequences for poor behaviour. Sometimes the behaviour just is let go, and that can really negatively affect the business culture. So we need to make sure there's consequence. We need to make sure there is recognition. They're really important. Good. The fifth area is around embedding these vision and values through the business. So it's all well and good having a boardroom that no one ever goes in, that's beautifully clean, and it's got the vision and the values on the wall, and no one ever sees it. So some of your people in your business will be, they'll experience the world visually. They'll explore it through, they'll experience it through the words they hear. It will be all different ways that they experience your workplace, and we need to make sure we tailor our process to those people too. So we need to make sure there's loads of signage around the business, similar to safety signage. I recommend having lots of signage around the business that promote the vision and the values in a positive way. I also believe that we need to have ongoing communication with people so that they get to hear about the vision and values. So we need to make sure that people get newsletters or regular communications or information shots across the team, whether that be by message, through their electronic devices, through emails, whatever it may be. But we need to make sure there's positive reinforcement and recognition of those as we embed them through the business. And we need to make sure the communications are ongoing. We can't just put them in the policies and procedures and then forget about them. It needs to be addressed on an ongoing basis. It needs to be part of the induction process. So when we do a safety induction, we also look at doing the vision and values induction with new staff too, because it's really important that we embed the vision and values. And we continue to talk about almost, I would say, until we're blue in the face talking about it, because ultimately what I've learned in business is that you almost have to reinforce the message so much for people to start to hear it, because it feels like it's coming out of you all the time and you're always sort of promoting that message. But actually, people are maybe only just hearing it for the first time and you don't necessarily know, and you've always got a flow of people on their own development journey through your business. And, they need to have the same effort. What I often find is what falls apart with vision and values rollout is that there's a big push at the beginning, and then the impetus loses its momentum, and then the vision and values will not work, and it doesn't positively have the impact that we hope it to have. So, and the final one is that's I think is vitally important, is that we need to make sure that we train and empower managers in the business on the tools they need to effectively manage the principles that we're setting out. So what does that look like? Well, a lot of people are promoted to a managerial role in a business without any managerial development. And this is when bad behavior potentially doesn't have consequences and good behavior isn't potentially recognized. So very simple for me to say, but not so simple to be done and carried out and completed. So it's really, really important that we make sure we train and offer managers tools and development to be able to effectively manage resources, to effectively manage the tools available to them, and to also make sure that they're good people managers too, and to make sure that they use those vision and values as a tool to properly and effectively manage their people in a positive way and reinforcing that message. So I've waffled on for 12 minutes, and I think that hopefully that's a short, sharp impact on how to master your business culture. If you do want to find that more and you're interested to hear more, please do get in touch. It's something that I'd love to speak to you about. I'm very passionate about making sure that we positively and proactively influence business culture in the businesses that we work with. And to do that, you may need a little bit of support, whether it's direct input from me or maybe just some conversations on the phone. But yeah, please do get in touch, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much. Take care.
I really hope you loved today's episode, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe and listen out for future episodes too. Please do share it across your social media channels. We hope to reach more and help more people. If you want to find out more about me, my name's Pete Rushmer. You'll find me across any social media channel and my business, Flagship Partners, and we're your partners in success across your business. Thank you. See you again soon.